Welcome to Water Myth Busters channel. The channel exists to make water info simple, accurate, and useful by using evidence, and help people to highlight real-world water challenges.
So, today, in this video, we will analyze how a dangerous dam building race is threatening South Asia's shared rivers. South Asia faces a clear choice: continue building dams to gain control, or shift toward a sustainable hydrological harmony. Hydrological harmony represents a state of balanced human-water relations in which water is managed to protect ecosystems from harm while allowing for sustainable use. It is often described as a way of water management at a regional level to ensure sustainable human-water interaction. However, this interaction does not seem to produce a pleasing visual combination in the South Asian region. Several hydropolitical events in 2025 showcased water as a hot-button issue in the region. For instance, the recent case of the Indus Waters Treaty's abeyance and the growing rush to build big dams, like Bangladesh's recent approval of the Padma Barrage, place South Asian countries at critical crossroads. Dams have been figurative of South Asia's approach to hydropower development for many decades. In a region where the mighty Indus, Ganges, and Brahmaputra rivers intertwine, shaping the lives of over 1 billion people, the concept of development has manifested as walls of reinforced dam infrastructure that promise energy, control, and modernization. However, for many, this promise is slipping away. The fight over water is no longer just a political issue. It is a growing environmental and humanitarian disaster. It is crucial to understand the challenges of the big dam rush. The construction of dams secures water, but it is detrimental to downstream water. They store water, but also store sedimentation. They produce electricity, but cause environmental damage. They control floods, but they displace people. In South Asia, the rush to build big dams on the Indus, Ganges, and Brahmaputra rivers has created this paradox. These infrastructures promise clean energy, flood control, and modernization, but they also disrupt ecological balance, force people to relocate, and exacerbate political tensions in the region. In echoes of these challenges, it is significant to rethink whether dams are really signs of hydrological harmony or signs of futures that cannot last.
For decades we've looked at these massive, towering walls of concrete holding back raging rivers and thought, well, there it is, the ultimate clean energy savior, the absolute silver bullet for our global water shortages. But what if the very structures we're building to save us are actually pulling us deeper into a crisis? Okay, let's dive into this, because the reality of global hydropower is way more complicated and honestly way more fascinating than it seems on the surface.
So think about this for a second. How does solving a water crisis actually create one? It sounds completely impossible, right? Like a total contradiction. But this is the fundamental paradox at the very heart of our explainer today. We're going to unpack exactly how this massive global rush to harness river power is triggering this wild chain reaction of geopolitical tension, economic strain, and some truly unimaginable ecological shifts.
Section 1. The Global Hydropower Boom. To really wrap our heads around this paradox, we first have to grasp the sheer, massive scale of what's happening right now. Hydropower accounts for 14.3% of all global power. That makes it the world's absolute largest source of renewable electricity. We're talking about the backbone of grid stability for over 150 countries. So yeah, it's pretty easy to see why nations are practically falling over themselves to invest in it.
And this boom? It is showing absolutely zero signs of slowing down. Last year alone, the world's hydropower capacity grew by a staggering 24.6 gigawatts. To put that into perspective, that breaks down to 16.2 gigawatts from conventional hydropower plants and another 8.4 gigawatts from pumped storage facilities. And right now, Asia is aggressively leading the charge, building at a pace we've literally never seen before.
Section 2, South Asia's Water Wars.
But that incredible growth brings us to a much darker reality. The thing is, rivers don't exactly respect national borders, right? And because of that, intense cross-border tension is brewing. Upstream, China is rapidly constructing the massive Moto Dam in Tibet. But downstream, India and Bangladesh are terrified that these upstream alterations are going to restrict their water access and absolutely devastate their agriculture. It's gotten so tense that leaders in India have even warned this Chinese project could become a potential water bomb. To really understand the stakes here, just consider the estimated cost of China's Moto Dam, $167.8 billion. Let that sink in. The government promotes this as a grand, clean energy initiative to transfer electricity from the West to major eastern cities. But that astronomical price tag is coming with some severe humanitarian and geopolitical baggage.
Section 3, the hidden costs.
Beyond the mind-blowing engineering and the billions of dollars, there's a really devastating human toll. Behind every single one of these mega dam projects are real people whose lives are completely uprooted. 19,700. That is the number of people slated for displacement in India's Uttarakhand region alone, just to make way for one single project. Indigenous communities are suddenly finding their cultural heritage and ancestral ties literally threatened by rising waters. And it doesn't stop there. Right across the border, that exact same joint project is going to force another 11,466 people in Nepal to leave their homes. And look, this isn't just some isolated incident. Across the continent, entire villages are being forced to move, with a lot of these folks waiting years for any kind of fair compensation. The human cost for this water security is just staggering. And then you have the brutal economic reality. An Oxford University study actually looked at 245 dams built over the last century. Their conclusion? Most of them ended up costing almost twice as much as their original estimates. When you start factoring in inflation, massive debt, and environmental cleanup, turning a profit becomes incredibly difficult. Take Pakistan, for instance. They're pushing forward with the Diamer Basha Dam. But research suggests that even if it's finished exactly on time, this single project could eventually swallow up to 10% of Pakistan's entire GDP. And we haven't even touched on the environmental damage yet. The ecological reality across this whole region is incredibly stark. These dams break up vital monsoon cycles, they hold back water right when it's needed most, and they trap crucial sediment. In India, this is leading to salty groundwater and destroyed wildlife habitats. In Pakistan, deforestation and severely polluted water networks. And in China, just the cleanup for the Three Gorges Dam alone is estimated at $26.45 billion over a 10-year period. The very structures being built to fix water shortages are actively degrading the environment that actually sustains that water. Which leads us to this really profound paradox in international governance. Institutions like the World Bank aim to support sustainable development, right? That's their goal. But their financial support for large hydropower projects often indirectly makes the exact social and environmental problems they want to fix way worse. It's this massive, glaring conflict between developmental financing and actual sustainable water governance. Now, if you thought the geopolitical and economic impacts were wild, wait until you see how this builds into something truly planetary. Can dams actually move the Earth? I know, it sounds like pure science fiction. Human infrastructure is big, sure, but can it actually alter the geophysical dynamics of our entire planet? Believe it or not, the answer is yes. When scientists studied the impact of thousands of dams built globally over the last century, they found that the sheer weight and redistribution of all that stored water actually dropped global sea levels. But even more mind-blowing than that, this concentrated mass of water shifted the Earth's poles by 3.7 feet. Seriously, our quest for water control has literally shifted the axis of the planet. Just let that sink in for a moment. So, where does all of this leave us?
We're literally shifting the Earth, displacing tens of thousands of people and risking major regional conflict just for grid stability. Clearly, the path we're on right now is totally unsustainable. Today, only 1/3 of the world's longest rivers remain free-flowing. The rest are completely dammed and regulated. But true water security isn't just about pouring more concrete to try and control nature. It requires maintaining the actual natural integrity of our ecosystems. A dammed river might give us electricity, but a destroyed ecosystem, that can't provide life. The real solution lies in a concept that governments, NGOs, and policy analysts are increasingly turning to. It's called sustainable security. It's a framework that integrates socioeconomic and environmental needs to create enduring resilience. We can't just look at energy output in a vacuum anymore. We have to balance it with food security, ecology, and basic human rights. We have to prioritize long-term endurance over mere structural control.
So, how do we actually achieve this harmony? Well, first, we have to aggressively protect the free-flowing river systems we have left. We desperately need equitable, transparent, cross-border water management, so downstream nations aren't just left living in fear. We have to find a way to balance our very genuine energy needs with the health of our ecology. And honestly, most importantly, we absolutely must put indigenous people right at the center of the decision-making process.
The hydropower paradox proves without a doubt that we cannot build our way out of a crisis by destroying the very systems that sustain us. So, ask yourself, will our future be secured by concrete walls or sustained by free-flowing harmony? The choice is ours, and the consequences are going to ripple out for generations to come.
Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on water politics in South Asia.